Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us. Today we're going to be looking at real estate marketing in 2025.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah, and we've got two really interesting sources that we're going to be taking a look at.
Okay.
One is a podcast script called Real Estate Marketing: Fixing What's Failing,
Yeah.
and the other one is a blog post by Dr. Pooyan Ghamari.
Interesting.
And both of these are kind of digging into why some of these more traditional real estate marketing tactics are failing and what are the new solutions.
Yeah, it seems like it's a really interesting time in real estate marketing because the market is shifting so quickly.
Right.
Like there's such a disconnect between like what agencies are doing and what buyers are actually looking for.
Yeah, the podcast script really kind of lays that bare,
Yeah.
talking about how the market's just flooded with all of these generic ads,
Right.
which is driving up the cost per lead, while at the same time conversion rates are plummeting.
Yeah.
They actually mentioned that generic project ads are averaging like a $20 cost per lead, but with only a 5% conversion rate. Wow. That's
So
wow.
that's a pretty rough return on investment.
Yeah, for sure.
And the podcast argues that a lot of agencies are kind of stuck in this rut of just pushing single projects instead of taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah, I can see that.
So what do you think? I mean, should they be focusing on the location itself rather than just showcasing one specific apartment building or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Um, if you highlight like the unique selling points of a location, you appeal to a wider pool of buyers, like people who are already interested in living in that area.
Right.
Think about it. Like when you're looking for a new place to live, do you start by searching for buildings or do you think about the neighborhood or the city first?
Yeah. No, you're right. I definitely think about the lifestyle that I want, you know.
Exactly.
What's the vibe of the place?
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And that's what they're calling location-based marketing.
In the podcast, and they're claiming that by shifting that focus to location agencies can actually like drastically decrease their cost and get way more conversions.
Interesting.
Yeah, they actually gave some stats that were really pretty compelling.
Okay.
It was a $12 cost per lead with an 18% conversion rate.
Wow.
So that's 56% cheaper and a 3.6 times better conversion rate.
Wow, those numbers are really hard to ignore.
Yeah.
I'm really starting to see why this shift is happening.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
They actually even gave these two contrasting examples of ads.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so one was a generic ad for luxury apartments in JVC,
Okay.
and the other one was like a location-based ad promoting Dubai Creek Harbor as like an investment hotspot.
Okay, yeah, you can just see immediately how that second one would appeal to more people.
Right. It's not just about the square footage and amenities.
Right.
It's about filling a lifestyle and a community.
It paints a picture.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And Dr. Ghamari, in his blog post, takes this concept a step further and talks about what he calls smart segmentation.
Okay.
So essentially what that means is that agencies are really leveraging data to understand their audience better, and then they're segmenting them based on buyer intent.
Okay, so instead of just blasting everyone with the same message, they're getting more targeted and personal.
Exactly. Yeah, it's about tailoring the message to resonate with the specific needs and motivations of each type of buyer.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, and in his post, Dr. Ghamari actually provides this segmentation table
Okay.
that outlines all these different buyer profiles,
Okay.
like first-time buyers, investors, luxury buyers, and people who are looking for off-plan properties.
That's a really good breakdown.
Yeah.
So how do they actually market to these different segments?
Each type has its own priorities and pain points, right?
Right.
So like first-time buyers might be really concerned about affordability and financing options,
Wow.
while investors are more focused on rental yields and potential appreciation. Okay.
So the key is to understand those motivations and then tailor your messaging accordingly.
So it's almost like they're creating a persona for each buyer type
Yeah.
and then crafting ads that speak to their aspirations, their concerns, their needs.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And this data-driven approach is where we start to see AI come into play.
Yeah, it seems like this AI revolution is really at the heart of both of these sources.
Yeah, for sure.
They both really highlight how it's changing the game for real estate marketing.
AI is being used in so many different ways now.
Yeah.
And one that really stood out to me was its role in lead qualification.
Yeah.
So AI can actually analyze all this lead data, like, their online behavior, any inquiries they make, even their social media profiles,
Wow.
to figure out how interested they actually are and how likely they are to buy something.
So it's like having this like super efficient assistant who can pre-screen every lead and flag the most promising ones. Exactly. Yeah, it lets the agents focus their energy on nurturing those high quality leads and building those relationships.
That could be a huge time saver.
Definitely.
So far we've talked about how location-based marketing and smart segmentation are really making waves.
Right.
And now we're starting to see the power of AI.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a clear pattern here, this move away from the generic
Yeah.
and towards this more personalized, data-driven approach.
Absolutely. And that's what we'll be diving even deeper into in the next part, our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll explore how AI is being used for predictive modeling and real-time bidding and what that means for both buyers and sellers.
I can't wait to get into the nitty-gritty of those applications.
Yeah,
It sounds like we're on the verge of a major shift in how real estate is bought and sold.
for sure.
Well, stick around for part 2, where we unpack these trends even further.
It's going to be good.
All right, see you then. Welcome back. We're picking up right where we left off, diving deeper into the world of AI and real estate marketing. Before the break, we were talking about AI's role in lead qualification.
Right.
And how that can really help agents, prioritize their time and their efforts.
Yeah, it can save them so much time.
Yeah, but it seems like that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to AI's potential.
Oh, yeah, totally. AI is being used in all these different stages of the real estate process.
Yeah.
From like identifying investment opportunities to even optimizing ad campaigns. It's really remarkable.
Yeah, and Dr. Ghamari's blog post really digs into some of these applications.
Uh-huh.
He specifically mentions predictive modeling and real-time bidding.
Oh, yeah, those are two big ones.
Yeah, those sound really complex.
Yeah.
Can you break those down for us a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah,
So let's start with predictive modeling.
Okay.
Essentially what it does is it uses AI to analyze these huge amounts of data.
Okay.
So things like past sales trends, current market conditions, even social media activity
Wow.
to identify properties that are likely to go up in value.
So it's almost like having this crystal ball that can help investors spot these up-and-coming areas before they become mainstream.
It's not magic or anything,
Right.
but it can feel like that sometimes.
Mhm.
AI can spot these patterns and trends that we might miss as humans,
Right.
and that gives investors a real edge.
So they can use AI to basically make smarter decisions,
Yeah,
minimize risk, and maximize returns.
exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about investors, but can predictive modeling benefit sellers too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
For sellers, predictive modeling can be really helpful in figuring out like the best time to actually list their property.
Okay.
So by analyzing market dynamics, AI can pinpoint those times when demand is high and inventory is low, which can lead to faster sales and better offers.
Yeah, so it's taking out a lot of that guesswork
Right.
instead of relying on, gut feelings or anecdotal advice. Sellers can actually use data to make strategic decisions about when to enter the market.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's all about empowering both buyers and sellers
Right.
with the information they need to make the best choices.
Yeah.
Now, switching gears a little bit to real-time bidding.
Okay.
This is where AI really shines in the world of online advertising.
Real-time bidding, it sounds a little intimidating.
Yeah.
How does that actually work?
So think about traditional online advertising.
Mm-hmm.
You basically bid on certain keywords or demographics
Right.
to try and get your ads in front of the right people.
Right.
With real-time bidding, AI steps in to optimize those bids.
Okay.
It's making these super fast decisions based on all sorts of different factors.
So instead of setting a fixed bid, the AI is adjusting it constantly in real time
Right.
to make sure that your ad is reaching the most relevant people at the best price.
Exactly. Yeah, it's analyzing things like the user's browsing history, their location, what time of day it is, even the device they're using
Wow.
to figure out the Bing did to maximize your ad's impact.
It's amazing. It's like having this digital marketing expert working 24/7
Yeah.
to make sure that your budget is being used well.
Right.
But with all of this automation, does the human element get lost? I mean, real estate is all about relationships.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. AI is a tool.
Right.
It's not meant to replace human expertise.
Right.
The best agents are going to be the ones who can embrace AI and use it to improve their skills and build stronger relationships with their clients.
So it's about finding that balance,
Yeah,
using AI for the analytical power,
right.
but also retaining that human touch that's so important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
AI can handle the data-heavy tasks, like analyzing those market trends or optimizing ad bids.
Right.
And that frees up the agents to do what they do best, understand their clients' needs, provide guidance, and find them the right property.
Yeah, it seems like AI is not only changing the way real estate is marketed,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also changing the role of the agent.
Yeah.
Making them more efficient and more strategic and ultimately more valuable.
It's really an exciting evolution to see.
Yeah.
And it's only just beginning.
Yeah. And in the next part of our deep dive,
Right.
we're going to explore the broader implications of these trends and what they mean for the future of real estate as a whole.
It's going to be fascinating.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, exploring how location-based marketing and smart segmentation and AI are really like revolutionizing the real estate landscape.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
Yeah,
Right.
but what does all this mean for the people who are actually at the heart of it all?
Right.
The buyers and sellers.
Yeah, that's the key question, isn't it? Like all this innovation is supposed to create this more efficient and transparent and user-friendly experience for everyone.
Yeah, so let's start with the buyers.
Okay.
How does this shift towards this more data-driven, AI-powered approach?
Mm-hmm.
How does that impact their journey?
Well, imagine a world where you don't have to, sift through all these listings that just don't match your needs or your budget. AI can analyze, your preferences, your lifestyle, your financial situation, and curate a personalized list of properties that actually align with what you're looking for.
So no more, wasted time scrolling through irrelevant listings or attending viewings that are
No.
just a complete mismatch.
Exactly. Yeah, it takes all the guesswork out of it.
That would be a game changer.
It would. And virtual tours are becoming so immersive and realistic now
Yeah.
that you could, explore potential homes from anywhere in the world.
Wow.
Get a real feel for the space without even having to leave your couch.
That's especially appealing for people who are, relocating or investing in property overseas.
Yeah, for sure. It removes so many of the barriers.
Makes the whole process so much more accessible.
Exactly. And blockchain technology is starting to gain some traction in real estate too.
Oh, yeah.
Which means we can expect even more transparency and security in transactions.
Interesting.
So imagine a world where property ownership records are, basically immutable and easy to verify, streamlining the whole buying process and reducing the risk of fraud.
That's amazing.
It is.
So it sounds like we're moving towards this much more streamlined and efficient marketplace
Uh-huh.
where buyers can find their dream properties really easily and with confidence.
That's the goal.
But what about the sellers? How does this new landscape benefit them?
Well, for sellers, this data-driven approach can really help them maximize their returns.
Okay.
Like we talked about earlier, AI can analyze market trends and figuring the best time to list a property,
Right.
increasing the chances of a quick sale at a good price.
So instead of relying on, guesswork or outdated strategies,
Right.
they can make these data-informed decisions.
Exactly. And AI can also help sellers target their marketing efforts more effectively, make
Yeah.
sure their property is reaching the right audience at the right time.
So think like hyper-personalized ads that speak directly to the needs and desires of potential buyers.
That's the idea.
It seems like this shift towards data and AI is really creating a win-win situation for both buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
Making the whole process more efficient, more transparent, and ultimately more successful.
That's what we want, right? To use technology to create a real estate market that works better for everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as with any powerful tool, I guess we have to use it responsibly and ethically.
Right.
You touched on some of the potential concerns earlier, like, the risk of bias in algorithms or
Right.
the importance of data privacy. So how can we make sure that AI is used for good in the real estate industry?
Well, it comes down to transparency, accountability, and a commitment to fairness.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that AI systems are trained on diverse and representative data sets
Right.
to avoid, perpetuating existing inequalities.
Right.
And we need to have clear guidelines and regulations to protect privacy and prevent data misuse.
So as a reminder that, technology is only as good as the intentions behind it.
Yeah.
Right. We have to be mindful of those potential pitfalls while also harnessing the power of AI to create this more equitable and accessible real estate market.
Yeah. A market that works for everyone.
This has been a really insightful deep dive.
It has.
We've explored how the real estate industry is evolving at this, unprecedented pace,
Yeah.
driven by innovation and this desire to meet the changing needs of buyers and sellers.
Sure.
It's clear that the future of real estate is bright.
Yeah, it's an exciting time.
But it's up to us to shape it responsibly and make sure that it benefits everyone.
I couldn't agree more.
Well, thanks for joining us on this fascinating journey.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights and are, as excited as we are about the future of real estate.
It's gonna be a wild ride.
Until next time, keep diving deep.